Hi, it's Daz The Director, and you're listening to the Us People podcast with Savia Rocks.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I'm humble enough to have Daz The Director here with me, who is a videographer and a director. Hey Daz, how's it going?
I'm great, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Cool, yeah. It's a nice warm day here. It's not too bad. I'm enjoying it. What about you?
Yeah, we got to enjoy the weather while we can.
While we're allowed out.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but you never know what's going to happen.
That's the truth. That is such the truth. So, Daz, you're a videographer, but tell me a little bit about where you grew up and how that influenced you to do what you're doing today.
Okay. I was brought up in Bournemouth, in the south coast of the UK. To be honest, I moved to London over 10 years ago. To chase the dream, quote unquote.
Hey, why not?
I wouldn't say Bournemouth influenced me as a creative because I actually lived the town next to Bournemouth, a town called Christchurch. And I think generally just with creatives, it's a little bit less, well, it's a lot less than what you would get in London. Yeah. I grew up on a small council estate. There was no one really trying to do creative work per se. So yeah, I mean, I came here for the dream. So I mean, as far as influencing me, I mean, everything influences you in some way.
Of course it does. Yeah, you have to find it.
I think really I found my inspiration to really push the creative work when I moved to London. And I initially came here for music because that's what I was doing at the time. So, yeah.
How long have you been doing music for? Because I know when you do videographer, when you're a videographer and also when you do music, they kind of intertwine with each other because you're naturally a creative person. So how did that all come about with the music? Was it music first or was it videography first?
Yeah, it was always music first. I mean, I stumbled into this maybe 4 years ago, which is how long I've been doing it. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. I made music for the height of when I was putting out singles in 2011. Wow. So yeah, I was putting out music. The first one I put out was 2007. Yeah. So yeah, and even going back to school. Even going back to school, I didn't really go to a school that was mad hip hop, orientated towards hip hop. Yeah. But I was writing raps when I was at school, 14, 15. So for me, it's the hip hop culture has always been something I've been massively into.
I think you've just got a connection with it naturally. I think that
100%.
So tell me a little bit about you being a videographer. So how did you actually get into that? What was your inspiration of being a videographer?
So really, like I said, I kind of stumbled on it because I had a friend that was selling a camera.
Okay.
For me it was I think what did I pay for that camera? £300, a 550D.
Yeah. The Canon,
Yeah, so for me it was my girlfriend at the time made music. That's how I kind of met her through music. She was a singer. And I was just buy this, I want to buy this camera. We're going to make music videos, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I stumbled on it. And it was I started making videos for my friends. Then people from outside of the circle, I started charging them really, really low money. Yeah. I was charging £50 for a music video when I started. Yeah. Because I wasn't very good either, and I needed the portfolio. Yeah. So 50 went up to 75, then it went to 100, then it was 150, and then that's when I decided to go to university.
Oh, okay. So you actually that was actually one of my next questions. So you actually went to university to study videography?
Yeah. So initially I went to university to study audio and engineering. Yeah. After I kind of realized maybe 6 months through the course that it wasn't really for me. Yeah. And I didn't have the skill that I thought I had in audio engineering, because I can be quite honest with myself and
Which see that
a lot of the students that I was working with, they were A, more talented, and B, more enthusiastic about music or about audio engineering in particular.
Yeah.
So then at that time I was making a little bit more money from video.
Okay.
So I actually had to go into the university and basically beg them to put me on the film course after a year. Yeah. Luckily I had some material that I could show them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they actually let me start late and not have to do the earlier modules.
Which is good.
Yeah, so like actually that degree only took me, it was already an accelerated degree, so it was a 3-year degree.
That's not bad.
It actually only took me 2.5 years to get my degree in film. So yeah, I kind of stumbled in it, but yeah, I came out of it. I came out of uni in August 2017.
Oh, okay. I think sometimes what happens, I was saying this to a photographer the other day actually. He stumbled, it was the same kind of situation as yours, where he said to me, like, someone handed me a camera and said, here, take pictures.
Yeah.
And I said, sometimes in life, we bypass what is really trying to grab us to say to do. And I think that's something that happened to you as well. I think you were walking away from it, maybe doing music, but it was trying to run to you and say, do videography instead. So I think that's kind of the avenue that happens 100%. To a lot of us.
And I've always said to people, and I'll probably go into this later about the stuff, the work I want to do with the youth, but like I've always said to people, even more so now than ever, a lot of kids growing up are so into music.
Yeah, definitely.
What we have to understand is like some of us are not made to be the stars, the stars making the music. Sometimes we have to try and see where we fit in somewhere else into the music industry.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that I get to work on like maybe 95% music projects. Because
I think sometimes what we have to do also is we have to make them understand, the kids understand that sometimes being in the background is better than actually being in the front.
Yeah, 100%. I much prefer it. I can't even lie.
Is it more stressful for you being in the background rather than the front?
No, it's way less stressful.
Okay.
It's way less stressful. I remember I'm not really a front of camera person, but I used to love making music. I used to love rapping, all of that kind of stuff. But like, I always remember feeling so nervous doing shows, like doing radio interviews, all of that kind of stuff. I'm older now, so I'm a bit more comfortable in myself. But like, I realized that wasn't really meant for me.
No, that makes sense. That makes total sense. What was the first project you ever worked on? And what did you learn from it? And how did it make you feel when you was actually doing it?
The first film project?
Yeah, the first ever film project you ever done.
Oh, God. I think it was for a couple of guys that I know from Tottenham, a couple of rappers.
Yeah.
Codders and Jasons, if they're listening. Yeah.
We'll send it to them. We'll send it to them.
Man, it was like, for me, it was like, I was coming into this without knowing anything, but also with having an understanding of music.
Okay.
So like, although the project would not be something that I would put on my show reel right now, like everything leads to us learning how to do something. That's and, true. We have to be grateful that we can learn and get better each time. And like, there's still a long way to go. And, a lot that we can get better at as well.
You're very humble about how you say things and what you do. I can see that, which is nice. It's nice. Talk to us about the process of making a video. So talk to us about the idea or maybe the song you get. So if you get a track from someone and then they talk to you maybe about the idea, then what's the process that you do to the finished product, even the editing and then when you're going towards the finished product?
Okay. So like there can be different ways I do things depending on what the artist needs or wants.
Yeah.
But if I'm saying what I would call the full package, which is like me directing, us kind of collaborating with the artist to come up with the best idea. So that will start really with like location scouting. But the initial ideas will come first. Anything, any ideas that we get from the track, I will approach him with an idea to see whether it's in line with what he wants to do. Maybe he would tell me something else and we can kind of combine the two. Then it comes to, location scouting, Then I will put together like a treatment, like a PDF treatment,
Yep.
which will kind of outline everything we're going to do, reference videos, what we want it to look like, etc., how we're going to go about the edit.
Yeah.
Then we go into shoot day, the most stressful part, sometimes the most enjoyable part, like depending. But, you know, like I find on most shoots, like no matter how well you plan it, something will go wrong.
Tell me about it.
Something will go wrong. It's just like with time, you just learn how to deal with it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you realize there's times where you have to improvise and, you know, learn other ways to do things.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Who is your inspiration in the music industry?
Oh, as far as directors go, see, I came from the school of like what we call guerrilla filmmaking. So guerrilla filmmaking is like any means necessary.
Yep.
We get it done. We tend to do like multiple jobs, like, you know, with a director, editor, colorist, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The best one, I think, in the scene is a guy called Chazza Petty.
Okay, I'm gonna look him up.
He does a lot of big videos.
Yeah.
He works with like people like P Money and Gets and all of that. As far as like one person, you know, one man shooters go, like he would be someone I would look up to, definitely.
Perfect. I'm definitely going to check him out.
I find sometimes in the UK things can get a little bit generic.
Yeah.
Probably in the US as well.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
You know, we tend to fall back on cars, girls, you know, people drinking with red cups. Like, you know. So when people are creative, it's inspiring because it makes you realize, you know, we can, especially on a smaller budget.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's true. How does it work with a smaller budget as well? Because say if someone's got a really good imagination, but they've only got a smaller budget.
Yeah.
How would you say to them, okay, well, because of your budget, I have to be realistic and say, how would you pull it to them?
I think on the type of budgets that I tend to work at, this crops up nearly, you know, every other video. Okay. Because people have often got grand ideas, but, you know, sometimes they can only just afford to pay me for my fee for directing and editing. So then it becomes a case of we have to find free locations. If they want cars and whatever they want, then we have to source them, you know, for free of people that we know. So it's a balancing act between being ambitious and me having to say, yo, guys, like we can't do this. Like it's not possible.
Realistic, having a realistic vision. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like I'm ambitious and I want to create the best visuals, but sometimes we have to say with certain ideas, like it's not possible with, you know, the extra £200 that you have to be able to, you know, get a explosion on VFX of a car blowing up and flying into the air, you know.
Well, that makes sense. So, do you feel that people are given a fair chance in the industry that you're in, because there are so many people doing what you do?
Yeah.
But sometimes it might be a little bit unfair because only the best of the best get chosen, or it's about who you know. How do you feel about it?
I feel like there's enough opportunity to work with artists. Like they might not be particularly the best artists, but if you're trying to get your foot in the industry, like there's plenty of artists that are looking for videographers and B might not have the biggest budget. I wouldn't advise anyone to work for free, but like, you know, if you have to do a few cheap videos to get by, then by all means, man, you need to get in the door. So
well, that makes sense. If you could work with one artist, who would it be, and why would you choose that particular artist to work with? Here we go. Here comes my questions.
Okay, that's a good question. And actually, no one's asked me that before, which is quite surprising. If I'm going to say UK wise, I would probably say Rich.
Okay.
I just love him as an artist, and I also think like he is creatively open, which some of the top artists in the UK now are not so much creatively open to doing interesting videos and concepts. Makes sense. And someone I've worked with before, Swiss. Swiss is actually another one of them. He's a great artist. He's open to doing stuff that's provocative and different.
Yeah.
So artists like that, because as well as that, they're kind of from my generation, so there's a certain amount of respect from listening to them for years that comes with that as well. In the US, it would have to be Kendrick.
Oh, okay. No, I understand. I definitely understand that one, because even I would choose someone like him as well.
Yeah, He half directs his stuff as well with Dave Mayer, who does most of his stuff.
Yeah.
But they're kind of lacking a collaboration, and his videos are just a lot better than most people's, aren't they? Like they're creative.
Well, they tell a story, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And it's coming from the heart. It's not just something that is written down and like you say, with the red cups and the and the Ferraris or whatever it is. It's more a story to tell you about his life or somebody else's life and what they've been through. So,
100%. And like it helps so much that these are artists that have things to say and have interesting concepts and ways to say things, because it can be harder to come up with a concept for someone that's talking about something that you're used to hearing like on 1,000 songs you've heard before.
Definitely. What one quote would you choose to represent you as a person, and why would you choose that particular quote? He's rubbing his head, guys.
Rubbing my head. I think it would be based around something about being a trial, because like I've always been a trial, and like people will probably say like even when I was making music, I might not necessarily be the most talented, but I would put in more work than my peers. And like, so I've tried a lot of things. I've tried writing sitcoms. I've tried sound engineering, film directing, making music, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I do try at things. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best at anything, but I'm a trial. So maybe like something like, God loves a trial.
No, that's true.
Maybe something like that, yeah.
I like that. If you were stuck on a desert island and you were only allowed to take one album, what album would you take with you to listen to?
Wow. I'm a music lover. I'm a hip hop lover. What album can I listen to and not get bored of it?
Mm-hmm. One of those albums that you listen from start to finish.
I mean, I love to Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick. Like from my recent memory. Tupac, Me Against the World.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was probably the first album I connected with Tupac.
Yeah.
Can I come back to that one?
Of course you can. Of course you can. I know it's a hard one, because
the thing is, like, when you're so into music and people ask you these questions, like you have like an overload of stuff in your head, like, and it's so hard to narrow it down.
I should just do a podcast on people's reaction to that one question. Because I swear to you, Daz, I could do a whole podcast of people's faces and reactions that I get. It's a good thing that it's not video. It's a good thing it's just audio, because we would be here for a while.
A lot of face palming.
Yeah, one of those. Here's another one for you. If you had an unlimited budget of money, what would you do to change the music industry and the film industry? The reason why I put both in there for you is because I know that you are talented within both.
Yeah.
So what would you change within the two if you had infinity money? No matter what you spent, it just came back.
Yeah. I think as far as the music industry goes, and like, this is nothing against people that make that type of music, because I like that kind of music as well. I can turn up to, I could be in the gym and listen to that type of music. But maybe I think if I said something like off the top of my head, it would be that maybe the more introspective, powerful artists were given the same push that, artists that were talking about gratuitous things were given.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
Maybe they are now, because Dave is one of the most successful. Stormzy's talking about stuff like that. Kendrick's massive in the US. So,
yeah, I like that.
In the film industry, actually, it would be the diversity. Like I feel like when you get to stages in the film industry, like unless someone's like blasted their way through the window, it's almost exclusively white and middle class as well. So, like, that's something that should be addressed, surely.
Do you think that they will address it, or do you think that it will stay the same for a long time from now? How do you feel about that?
I think what I find with the film industry, and I'm talking about films, not so much music videos, there tends to be like a a nepotism or like a who you know type vibe about it.
That's what I said before.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
So it takes a lot for people to get through. Like, you know, I feel like it takes a lot for, you know, Black and Asian people as you know, way more than, you know, a working class person like myself. But like on that scale, it's like, I don't know, I feel it's a little bit closed off, like way more than it should be.
I think maybe Black and Asian and other cultures, they have a tendency to have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
So a person who is wealthy and has the money to do whatever they want, they can just walk in kind of, and the person who's just who, you know, like daddy knows this person or mummy knows that person or whoever it is, or my cousin or whatever it may be, they kind of have that I can walk through the door and get it. Whereas for us, I feel it's a little bit different. Where in the sense that we have to work twice as hard, we have to graft, we have to, like you say, even though you went in halfway through university, you were a trier, you went in and you said to yourself, you know what, I can do this. Yeah, I'll prove to you guys that I can do this. And you did it. Because a lot of people would get in halfway, Daz, and just give up. And you do that. And I think that's inspirational to people to hear.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And yeah, I agree with you about you almost have to be, what's the word? Exceptional. Yeah, you said exceptional, right? Yeah, I almost have to be exceptional to be on a level of, you know, average or good to other people, which is like crazy. But hopefully, you know, there's a lot of recent events going on that hopefully,
there is.
It's going to change things.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to the change because I like change, and I think if you grow with change, it helps you become a better person as well.
Yeah, 100%.
What would you say to a videographer who is starting out in the game of doing videos, just like yourself when you were starting out? Well, he's got a big smile on his face.
Because I want to say don't do music videos.
You can if you want to say don't do music videos, say don't do music videos. But from your heart, Daz, what would you say to people who are starting out making films or any kind of videoing? What would you say to them to help them in their situation at the moment?
Yeah. As far as like, you know, film and video goes, like, keep shooting. Just keep shooting. I went to uni, like I said, for 2.5 years. I've learned way more like out in the field, filming people, getting to understand you know, situations that occurred than I did at uni, and that cost me, like, you know, it's scary how much that cost me. We're talking like bags and bags, like tens of bags.
Trust me, I know the feeling. I wish they had a course on photography.
Just keep shooting and keep learning, and like that's where it comes to, like, you can be like bougie with your rate that you charge, but if you're not getting work, then like just please drop your rate and, you know, go and actually get some work,
like
some
that.
regular work, because then, you know, you will become better and you will be more worthy of the rate that you're trying to charge.
That's true.
Because I feel like there's a lot of kind of advice online which is like, you know, like know your rate, like accept, you know, like don't budge with people, all this kind of stuff, and it's like it's not true. Like until you have people messaging you for work, like be prepared to drop your rate to do work, because like
that's true.
You know, if you're learning, then you have to keep shooting.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Let's talk about equipment, because I know that there is so much equipment. I've seen pictures of you with your equipment.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what equipment you need for an advanced person, an intermediate kind of person, and a beginner. Can you talk to me from beginner to advanced, or what type of equipment you need? And do you need different types of equipment for different types of, you know, projects?
Yeah. So as a beginner starting out, if you're starting out, like, you don't have to buy all the shiny stuff. Like, you really don't. Like, I started with a Canon 550D, which was probably like 7 years old at the time, camera, a kit lens, the one that comes with the camera. and I bought one of these glide cam things. Like before, this was before like you know the electronic gimbals was a thing.
That's it.
So this was one that you had to balance yourself and like have to like learn how to do the ninja walk.
The ninja walk.
Yeah, the ninja walk.
What's
So
the
the ninja walk is like,
Daz?
imagine when we walk as normal people, we bounce up and down, right?
Yeah.
So the ninja walk is like you have to kind of like arch your back. You have to go from heel to toe. So when you move your from heel to toe, and then that minimizes the bump.
Okay.
So you can get smoother footage. Yeah. So that's what I started on, and that was fine up until a certain point. And I think 2 years later, I bought another camera. Beginner, like you don't really need a lot. Like you could go and shoot handheld footage. Like even it's mad because I've kind of gone full circle because I used to shoot without a glide camera when I first got the camera. I used to just shoot handheld.
Yeah.
Then we went into the whole motorized gimbal. Everyone wants smooth footage, and now I'm kind of trying to make myself stand out a little bit more. So I'm trying to put that down and shoot more handheld stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want my stuff to look like everyone else's, you know, gliding round and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to do a bit more handheld stuff, a bit more kind of rugged, you know, look.
Oh. Tell me about the advanced. So someone who is advanced, what would they be holding in their hand?
Well, everyone has different opinions on cameras. I mean, like if you're advanced, you might have like an Arri Alexa, which is, you know, the top 30 bags.
Sounds like a spaceship.
They're the proper ones. But then you can buy that for like 26K or whatever it is, and then you might need to spend another 10K just to rig it up to be able to shoot with it. Yeah, because that's just for the body. That's just for the body, and then you got to get the shoulder rig and the this and the that and the storage stuff and the V mount batteries, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
What's your ultimate goal in life when it comes to doing what you do? What is your ultimate goal?
So for me, I want to get into more social projects.
Okay.
It's something I haven't really had enough chance to do. I've done a couple last year. I want to use my skills more wisely to impact people a little bit more.
Yeah.
Whether that be through music videos, but preferably not. Like,
you've got this thing against music videos. I want to know. I want to know a bit more why you have this like hate-love kind of relationship with music videos.
So I mean, like, how can I say it? Like, when you do music videos, I charge less than I would charge if I was going to go and do like a promo for like a I don't know, like a drinks brand or something. Yeah, so you immediately have to take a pay cut, which is not a problem because I enjoy music, but there is certain other things that come with dealing with independent musicians that some of them might not know how to be professional yet.
Okay.
So I've waited 4 hours on a shoot before for someone to turn up.
What?
Yeah, 100%. I've waited 4 hours for someone to turn up.
No, I couldn't.
So there's that. There's the constant lateness, and the worst thing about the constant lateness is you kind of adjust yourself. Like when I say we're shooting at 4, I might get there at 4:30 because I know that they're not going to be there before that. Yeah. If it's a certain person, so like I'm kind of changing my morals for them. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes if you go and meet someone that is actually punctual, it makes you look bad. Like,
yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I get you. So I don't know how that works for me, because when I'm on a shoot doing photography, normally I try, like you say, I normally try to be there earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm even there like 45 minutes earlier, and I'm happy to relax and have like a drink somewhere or just chill out. But for you, is it frustrating sometimes when you're having to do that? Because I just want to get your angle on how you deal with people, because when you're self-employed, it's all about dealing with people.
Yeah.
And knowing how to deal with them and what type of people. So how do you deal with it? How do you handle it?
Oh man, for me, it depends on the situation. It depends on the circumstance. It depends where I am. Yeah. Like, you know, even when it comes to like someone being, I don't know, hour and a half late, for example,
Yeah.
if I'm near my house or I'm near my friend's house, or you know, I'm filming in Bournemouth and I'm near my parents' house,
Yeah.
not so much of an issue. But if I go to, for example, I've never shot there, but for example, if I went to like Luton
Yeah.
and like, and then the man was like, "Oh, I'm running 2 hours late," like, I'd be pissed. Like, do you know what I
I
mean?
would too. I would too. Let's go on to something more positive. So,
Yeah.
define what success means to you, Daz, and how it's helped you in your life in what you're doing. So define what, because everybody's got a different definition of what success means to them. So
Yeah.
what does success mean to you as a person within yourself and what you do?
Okay. Success to me on the whole means happiness. So, like, I know people that earn, you know, 100K a year maybe, but I know people that are happier that, you know, work in like a nursery on £20,000 a year part time or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like it's not monetary. Success can come from your career, can come from your family support, it can come from your friends.
Yeah.
So to me, I try not to put like. Sometimes I get caught in the trap of comparing my progress with other people.
Yeah, I think
Because
we all do, yeah.
yeah, because I'm a little bit older. You know, I spent a lot of time trying to go down the music route, so I came into this a lot later. Sometimes it's easy for me to look at other people and go like, oh man, they're like 20, 23, man, and they're like on the same
Oh.
level as me or above me. Like, you
Oh.
know, like I'm a failure or whatever.
Oh, don't
But
say
you
that.
know, like
Oh.
to me, no, to me, it's like I'm happy. You know, I have a good family. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I actually
Yeah.
wanted to do this for a long time. I worked in construction for 10 years while I was doing music.
Yeah.
And then I went to university, came out of uni, and I said, you know what, like, I'm just gonna bang this. Like, I'm not gonna go and get a job. Like, I'm just gonna. It was tough. Like, it was proper tough when I left. When I left
Yeah.
university, like, I was stubborn. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And there was enough months where I didn't earn a lot of money,
Yeah.
and you know I have to support my son and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like I kind of feel like, no, I can't. I'm gonna go back on the building site.
So it's
But
determination. Was it determination that kept you going?
100%. And also like, you know, my son, because like he's a massive inspiration for me to do something with my life that inspires him to do something. So really, if I'm being honest, this whole creative thing, I took seriously after my son was born, which was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's actually 5 years old today, by the way.
Oh
He's with his,
wow.
yeah, he's with his mum today.
Hey.
I had my birthday party with him Saturday.
Aw.
But yeah. So like when you have a child, I felt like that gave me the impetus to go like, yo, like Daz, you can't mess about no more, man.
Yeah.
Like either do it or don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I done the university thing. That's why I came out and I was like, man, like I have to give it a go for a year and see if I can actually make a career out of this.
Yeah.
Like if I don't, fine, I can go back. But I just want my son to know that like, I tried to do it. I had the determination to try and do it because I didn't want to work on a building site all my life. And
Yeah.
that's the truth.
I think it's more than that. I think people like you will inspire other people when they listen to this and they start to understand, oh my gosh. Like if I was to say to you, Daz, what did you do in a situation where you were saying to me that you didn't have enough money? Yeah,
Yeah,
and say that you have to feed your son, you have to pay your bills, you have rent to pay, so on and so forth. But say
yeah.
you're working and doing what you do as a freelancer, but you didn't have enough money. What would you do to try and find the rest of it? How was it for you? Because I want people to understand. I want people to understand, yeah, where you're
Yeah,
coming from and how hard it is to be self-employed.
yeah.
Was there
So
anything that you did?
I definitely made sacrifices during those times.
Yeah.
Like I had to flip money somehow. I sold most of my studio equipment.
Whoa.
I had like a Neumann mic, like £1,000 mic that I sold. I sold my monitor speakers. I
What?
sold what else did I sell? I sold other bits, but it was like I had to. In that time, I had to, because it was either that or applying to go and work, like, either back on the building site or, like, I don't know, Tesco's or something, which I wasn't prepared to do. So, like,
that's fair enough.
I had to do it. And I realized, like, you know what? I had this £1,000 mic in my drawer.
Yeah.
And because, like, I stopped putting out music in, like, 2000. Really, it was like 2013.
Yeah.
But I was still kind of doing little bits. I went into spoken word. I was doing spoken word stuff around 2015. But I had this mic here, and I was like hardly using it, but I was kind of holding on to it as like a.
It's like your last piece.
This kind of symbolism of, like, you know, I'm not ready yet. I might put out music, like, but and then it kind of got to me, and I just sold it in the end. I was like, I'm not using it. I'm not using it. I need the money, man. So it's got to go.
See, guys, that's sacrifice right there.
Yeah.
That is ultimate sacrifice, which kind of leads me on to my next question, actually. So after you've done all that, was there ever a time in your life where you felt like you wanted to give up because this was happening, or you felt like there was lack of funds or support from people? How did you get yourself back up to where you want to be, even to where you are now?
One thing I would say with, like, my journey when I left university was, like, even though there was enough times when I wanted to quit, like, for some reason, when I was, like, at my end of my tether, something came along, like a job came along, an opportunity came along, or you know, someone put down a deposit for a video. So somehow, and I believe it's like it was meant to be, because somehow something came along and it just, like, went, okay, cool, you can survive for another week or 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, I was kind of fortunate that stuff happened, like, last minute when I was just about to fill out my Tesco application.
Oh.
That was it. Yeah, something came along. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
So what inspires you to stay in the industry? So now you're in it. It's fully yours. What inspires you to stay in it?
So I've got some plans. So I was literally just about to put a deposit down for a film studio, like 2 days before the COVID thing happened. So, like, I had to kind of pull out of the deal, but the option is still there. The studios are closed at the minute. So, when that's available again, that's what we're going to do. It's me and another director that I work with, Jimmy Chiba. So, we had this idea where we were like, we pay to use these studios, these film studios.
Yeah.
And often they're boring. Like, they just have, like, a white cove and, like, some colorama paper to pull down. So we was like, yo, we're going to get a studio and we're going to do, like, mad stuff. We want, like, a big plant area, like a faux foliage wall area. Yeah. We want to do, like, a retro 1980s neon corner. So that was our thing. We're like, you know what, we're going to go into this and we're going to make it creative. Yeah. So people that are working to the budgets that we have don't have to do, like, a mad set design.
Yeah.
You know, we can create these spaces for them, and we're going to change them every few months so it keeps it fresh. Yeah. That was where I was going. And then obviously this thing came on, but I've put some money aside. So as soon as we're back up, I can put a deposit down and start again.
I wish you good luck with that. I'm going to have to do another podcast with you to see where you are in maybe a year or two and see how you're doing.
Yeah, that would be good.
Talk to me about you helping the youth, because I remember you said to me you was going to talk to me about it before. So talk to me about the youth. Yeah.
So that one is like an idea I've had for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of related to what we talk about with the lack of diversity within the film industry. So what I wanted to do, because I know that they have film classes in youth centers and all this kind of stuff. I know they do some form of that. What I wanted to do is do it more from my perspective, which was like, I was an artist, I made music, for whatever reason, like I couldn't make it as an artist. Yeah. So I realized that there's another path for you to go down if you love music, but you're not able to be the star. Yeah. So what I wanted to go in really is to go in and go into the kind of like underprivileged communities and maybe teach them how to make these music videos rather than, in-house, rather than paying for people like me to go and make them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
To get people self-sufficient and, hopefully give them at least a little bit of a foot into the film industry.
would you say it's hard for them to, because they're young, would you say it's harder for them to get in their foot in the door into the industry, or to find somewhere to learn about this? Because uni is expensive.
Yeah, exactly,
To go to
exactly. And
uni,
I had
so
to go down that route. I was, I was older. I didn't really have any time to waste. Like, I needed access to better equipment and maybe tutelage from people that had been in the industry, etc. But yeah, if you catch people young, and like, we're in a very advantageous situation where we have access to like YouTube, all of that kind of stuff. Most of the stuff I taught myself was actually, I taught myself more from YouTube than I taught myself at university.
you're
I
not the first.
swear,
You're not the first
1,000%.
person to say that to me. Believe
Yeah,
me.
because imagine I was making videos a year before I started that course, I think.
Yeah.
So like when I first got the camera, I was banging the YouTube tutorials. Like my friend was like, I hear so many accents coming from your room. Like the guy I was living with at the time. Because one second there'd be like American guy, like then there'll be like a Scottish, like some Indian guy would be doing some tutorial. Like
Oh
I was
man.
watching them until I got good. Like
If there was one film out there, or one video out there, it could be a music video, it could be a film out there,
yeah.
what film or music video would you choose to represent your life?
Ooh, can you say that one again?
Yeah, sure. If there was a film or music video out there,
Yeah.
which one would you choose that represents you as a person or your life? I know it's a difficult question.
That is hella hard. That is hella hard.
I like hard questions.
Wow.
I should have took a picture of your face just then.
That's a good question, but it's a very hard one. Oh man, I love films. But yeah,
Oh,
you know what?
go on.
There's a very interesting boxer called Johnny Tapio.
Oh yes, I've heard of him. Yeah.
You watched the film Bleed for This?
I haven't. No, I've heard of it, but I have not watched it. Yeah.
Bleed for This is about his journey. He was like a world level boxer.
Yeah.
I'm massively into boxing. I come from a boxing family. Like both my granddad fought professionally and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, boxing's like that's my main.
Did you not want to get into boxing maybe? Because that's your background.
I was into it when I was young. My granddad had a gym.
Oh.
Actually, both of my granddads had boxing gyms in the area, in the Bournemouth area. But my mum wasn't keen on boxing.
Okay.
Her dad, he fought like 2 world champions. He had like, I think it was like 85, 86 fights.
Wow.
And this was in between the war as well. So there was a lot of times where he couldn't fight. And he used to fight, and they used to do fighting on the fairgrounds and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's back in the 1940s,
Yeah.
50s. But yeah, he's quite well known around my area for being like a pro boxer. But he was obviously, he'd had a lot of fights. He was it affected him in later life. So my mum was a little bit cautious about her little son getting beat up.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm the same with my son, because before my son was born, I was like, I'm gonna get him into boxing. He's called Cassius as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then I looked at his face and I was like, man, he's too pretty, man. I can't send him in a ring. He's too pretty, man.
Oh dear. So is that the film we were talking about, the person you were choosing, the film you were choosing?
So Bleed for This only because like, I guess like he overcome anything. Like he overcome anything, and like although like I haven't been through anything as a traumatic, like I guess my film wouldn't be as interesting. But like I feel like there's stuff that's happened in my life, particularly like my late teens and early 20s, where I was involved in all kinds of stuff, and like I've got over that, and hopefully like on the way to making myself successful at what I do. So it came a bit later than most people, but I'm happy and I'm blessed.
Oh, that's perfect. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Probably I would have just not listened to my mum and been a boxer.
Then I would have been interviewing you about being a boxer instead.
Yeah. I saw your interview with Ashley Fearfane as well.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. We've known each other for years.
Yeah, it was a really interesting interview, actually. I liked it. Um, if I wasn't doing film and music,
Yeah. What would you be doing?
I'll still be working on that construction site.
What? For real? For real? You think so?
I wouldn't want to be, but yeah, like and if it's not something creative, then like, yeah, because like, I don't know, I put all my chips into being creative.
Yeah.
Like, and like, even when I was in the construction industry, I done like hog carrying, which is a really, really hard job, like just carrying bricks and blocks all day. Then I managed to have a little bit of sense and I got like a forklift license.
Yeah.
I used to just drive around in the forklift all day. But like, I never really had I didn't really want to progress in the career. Like, people were telling me like to learn bricklaying, to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't really care.
I think you had a vision, that's why.
Yeah, I just knew like it wasn't for me. And I all that time that I was doing it, I knew that I wasn't going to be doing it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have the creative thing, then I don't know it. I might have had to.
No, that's fair enough. It's understandable. But I just see that you had a vision. That's why you were like, I don't need to do it because I know where I'm going. I know where I want to be. I know I want to aspire to.
And to be honest, I'm like an escapist, as in like I would have found something else that I would have been, would have been obsessed with, or like, would have wanted to achieve.
Definitely.
Because I think we all need that. We all need that if we're working a 9 to 5.
Yeah. A 9 to 5 isn't easy. People think that it's kind of repetitive, whereas when you're a creative person, you get that creative freedom. You may not have the money all the time, but you have that kind of peace of mind in the sense where you can be free with your thoughts. Yeah. And I think that's so important to be happy.
100%, 100%. And the self-employed life is crazy. I can do 4 shoots in 1 week. Yeah. And then like I might not get work again for 3 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
But it enables me to have a lot more input in my son's life and, to be available for her, like if she needs me to have him on like a Tuesday or whatever.
That's nice.
So like, I appreciate this and I appreciate that I have flexibility in life, even though sometimes I'm working at 3 a.m, like it's cool.
Oh, yeah. But it makes you wiser. It makes you understand that you're lucky, because time is something we cannot get back. And I always try to stress that to people. Time is something that you don't get back, whether it's with your kids, your family, your loved one, a friend. You don't get that back. So the time that you do have to share with them, share it as best as you possibly can. So you're doing the right thing, Daz. You're definitely doing the right thing.
Thank you.
I've got 2 more questions for you, Daz.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people? I always say your fans or your followers, but people seem to think that they don't have fans or followers. But undercover, you think you don't. But we all have some kind of following in some way. Yeah. What would you say to people who have supported you out there and who are positive? What would you say to them about doing what they're doing and just keeping that faith? Because we all need it. We all need a push, and it's nice to hear it from people who are in the industry of what they want to do. What would you say to them to uplift them? Like,
I can't feel like I can't find the most articulate way to say it or the most original way to say it.
Just say it from your heart.
Literally, it's just like, just keep trying, man. Because like I've known so many talented people in my life, from like rappers to producers to film guys, whatever. Like, there's a small percentage of them that have actually made it to go on to make it their career or anything like that. And it's not due to talent. It's like due to A, their work rate, and B, the fact that they gave up when, they felt like there was nothing left. But if they would have carried on, then something might happen.
Yeah. No,
so that's the most important thing. You just got to keep trying, keep working, and also don't let like any kind of successes go to your head too much.
I like that one. I like the fact that you brought that up.
Yeah, because like, I don't know. I know of, and I know people that
Is it ego? Would you say it's ego, kind of?
100%. But I also get it, because it's nice to achieve stuff and everything. But like, don't ever think you've made it, because there's like 1,000 people better than you at what you do. Unless you're like, the top.
But even like, the top, they get taken over eventually too.
Yeah, true that. But we have to be ambitious enough. If you're if you're too comfortable with where you are and you're too pleased with yourself and you think like you've made it, then you're unlikely to have as much ambition to go further.
True. Yeah.
You know, you need to keep striving and believing you can get higher and learn more.
Okay. That's good advice out there. That's good advice to give to the people. Well, my last one for you.
Yeah, go on.
So, Mr. Daz the Director.
I feel like this one's going to be like, I don't know why.
No.
Like
this is the best one. Yeah?
Go on.
This is what I say to you. Plug as much as you can, okay?
Yeah.
This is what I say, Daz. Tell us all your social medias, where we can find you. If you have anything you're selling, tell us. Plug it to us.
I'm easy. My one is Daz the Director. You'll find me on Insta, Twitter, not so much. I don't tweet a lot. You find me on Facebook, but I don't really post a lot on there either. Like Instagram's my one. If you want to contact me for videos, either contact me on Insta or contact me on my website, which is dazthedirector.com. Where else? I'm on LinkedIn. You find me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. And that's about it. What have I got coming up? If you keep an eye on my Insta page, you'll be able to see all the videos I do. I've got numerous videos that are going to come out as always, but like you probably might be able to keep up with the progress of the studio as well.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one. So we've got like this big 900 square foot room. Ooh. And like it just looks like crap at the minute. But like we have a vision,
I like give us
a couple of months and it'll be banging. Like everyone will want to film this.
No, I'll definitely be contacting you. Well, I'll keep in touch with you regardless, anyways, and then I'll let all the people know how you're doing, how the progress is going. So most definitely, are you on TikTok?
No, I don't do TikTok.
Neither do I, but everyone's saying I should, but I just decided no.
No, I refuse the Snapchat hype as well. So like I'm cool, man. Just give me an Instagram. Like I get like 99% of my work from Instagram. So like I don't really, and I'm not really a showy person. I don't need to show my face to people too much. So I don't want to do all that. Yeah,
no, just definitely makes sense.
Catch me on Insta. That's it.
Daz, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Ask People podcast, and thank you for letting me pull all the knowledge I can out from you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great chat.
Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the Ask People podcast. And please remember, you can subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and any other platform that you prefer. And please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please also remember, you can donate to the Ask People podcast so we can talk to people like Daz and pull his knowledge out to share with you. Yeah. All you need to do is simply type in paypal.me/Ask People podcast. Guys, thank you for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, continue to be kind to one another.